Hello, welcome to VIDA Happy. Thank you so much for being here with me on another video. If you are new here, my name is Moni. You can also call me VIDA, as many do. In this channel, I like to share with you tools and topics on personal finance, personal growth that have served me well to live a happier and better lifestyle. If you would like to hear about this kind of topics, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And for now, I like to share with you a quote I have for today. It's not specifically a quote that I found on a book or somewhere. It's a quote that I heard once on TV. Someone had given this person this advice, and ever since I remembered it. And I don't remember if I was married or not, but to be honest, I always wanted to be married even when I was a single mom. And this quote says, if you want your marriage to last, all you need is to want it. It goes like this. It was in Spanish. If you want your marriage to last, all you need is to want it. To want it to last. When I heard the quote in Spanish, it didn't really make sense. I'm like, what do you want? What do you mean to want it? But it's to want it to last. That's what it means. And I wanted to share this quote because honestly, it might be not a lot of years to some people, or maybe a lot of years to other people. I'm sharing this not because my marriage is perfect, because it's not in any way. Nobody's life is perfect, nobody's marriage is perfect. We have had a good marriage overall, but I remember always having this quote present. I always have this quote present, to be honest. And always remembered it because I always wanted to be married. And I want my marriage to last. And now we're not talking here, I'm not talking about extreme circumstances like abuse or infidelity or anything like that. We're talking about on a regular day-to-day um day-to-day relationship, like on differences that you might have as far as, like, I don't know, finances or how to raise the kids or stuff like that, the different ways of thinking. We're talking about stuff like that where you think that you might not be compatible with your husband. And I really think, and I wanted to share this with you because I really think it's a matter of adapting to your partner, adapting to them, because you're not perfect. You can't expect to be with someone perfect. You have to see what it is that you're giving, that you're expecting in return. So you always have to adapt to the person you are with, because they're not going to do everything you want them to do. You are going to have your differences. You might have different ways of thinking, but the point is to conversate and come to an agreement. Come to a midpoint. If you share, if you conversate. But a lot of the times you might be so fed up you don't even want to talk anymore. Or as soon as you talk, you fight. Now you're not fighting because of the initial issue. Now you're fighting because of everything you said during the fight. So honestly, I think taking a deep breath and getting away for a little bit. Don't leave the house, like just getting away for a little bit. Don't fight when you're mad, but conversate. And now I'm not telling you this because I think my marriage is perfect, because this is not in any way. Like, we're constantly working on it, and I'm so grateful that my husband also wants a marriage. Now, to give you a little bit of background, I grew up with a single mom, and I never had a father figure in my life. But I did see marriages with with my aunts and uncles, And I wanted that since I was little. So now that I have the opportunity to be married, I want it to last. Yes, as long as we don't have these extreme situations. Honestly, as much as I love my husband and as much as I want this to last and to work, I don't know. I can't give you advice on that area because I have not lived that with my husband. But I can tell you that on a day to day, we have to constantly be working on our marriage, especially when you have kids. You have to constantly be working on your marriage. I really think it takes a lot of understanding each other and not expecting from each other. Why do I say not expecting? I say not expecting because you can't expect your wife or your husband to do something. They don't read your mind. And in this area, you can't expect anybody in the world, your kids or your mom or anybody, to do anything for you because they don't read your mind. So if you are a person that are constantly expecting things from others, you're gonna feel disappointed all the time because they're not gonna do what you expect them to do. They don't read your mind. They can't. So in your relationship, in your marriage, you need to not expect for them to do things or for them to be romantic or for them to do this or that. You have to tell them. But then again, when you do that, you need to also see what it is that you're giving in return. Are you also giving that attention? There's a really good book called Fireproof. It was funny because I came across this book before I was married. Actually, before I met my husband. It was so funny. Within that year before I met him. And when I met him and we were dating, it's funny, he told me about this book. And it's not common. I mean, that someone tells you about a certain book. He told me about the same book. And I was so surprised because actually this book, I came across the movie in Mexico when I was visiting. And it so happened that he had the book. It was so funny. I don't know. This book is Fireproof, and there is the movie and there is the book. So if I wanted to make this video because if anybody out there feels like they're struggling with their marriage and they feel really sad because it's not working out and they want to make it work, or they have kids, give it a try. Give it a try. And this book is really good. It's I think it's a Christian book, but it's really based on the marriage part of it. More than anything, that's what it's about. And I really think it would help someone out there that might be struggling with their marriage. So give it a try, and also talk to each other. Talk to each other. Start doing things for each other. Don't fight. A lot of the times we fight because of financial situations. During this pandemic, a lot of people, a lot of marriages are fighting and having struggles. But if you are united, if you work together, it's just better. It's just better, and you have to have each other's support and help each other, understand each other, be there for each other. But for each other, don't expect him or her to just be there for you. You got to be there for them, and you got to do something first so that they see the change in you. Believe me. Take a moment to evaluate the situation. Think about your life in the marriage, or if you get divorced, think about the family. Appreciate your partner. Appreciate your spouse, and think and focus on the positive rather than the negative. When we're so fed up, a lot of the times we might focus on the negatives about them, but focus on the positive. It might take a little trying, but do it. Do it. I'm sure that you married that person or you're with that person because they have something good. I mean, if it's not an extreme situation that you cannot forgive, be humble take the time and think. A lot of the times we just give up because of pride, could be. So I hope this not quote but advice that stayed with me forever helps you in some way. And thank you so much for being here. For my days 24, 25, and 26, I decided to go through the pantry. And this whole challenge, I never went through the pantry, and honestly, it needed some decluttering, some cleaning out. I mainly went through all the packages, checking expiration date. Some of these items are expired. Some of them we didn't. My husband is not using. I had them for him because they were gluten free. I keep buying stuff for him to try, but he doesn't like the flavor. So I also have these bags of chips. Some of them, as I said, are new, but they're expired. So I am just not gonna try to buy him anything else gluten free. We're just gonna go for the natural foods. But I'm getting rid of all that. These items right here are not expired. I will be donating them, and these are my items for days 24, 25, 26, 8, 7, and 6 items. See you tomorrow for my next items to declutter on the last